majority of that. Now, how you train is important when it comes to what kind of body you're trying to build or what performance you're trying to peak out at or what phase of the endurance, what phase of resistance that you're in too.
Yeah. You know what sold me? Where before I was like, resistance training is good. It makes you all strong, gives you sexy muscle and all that stuff. And that's very true, and it's very, very important for a lot of people. It's important to me. But what sold me on resistance training, where I was like, everybody needs to be doing it, is when I started looking into the lesser known benefits. So like when you get like older, when you become an adult, like 25 and older, you start enjoying different benefits at different times, like depending on what kind of person you are. Not like are you a Virgo or a Libra? I mean, like, are you a postmenopausal woman?
Oh, got you.
Versus a 25-year-old male.
You brought it back. Thank you. I was over here.
So like so for example, there's a psychological benefit, there's a cognition benefit to doing resistance training. For those of you who don't know, when you get to the age of 25, usually most of our brains peak at around 25. After 25, it is a pretty solid decline in your IQ and in your cognitive abilities, all the way down to the point where once you get to like 35 and 40 years old, there is a significant loss in IQ. And your IQ is it's like your genetic potential. A lot of it has to do with the amount of trauma you didn't go through during your formative years, but a lot of it has to do with memory as well. And resistance training, coupled with cardio, right? A good, well-balanced program, but resistance training has proven to be one of the only things that a person can do to regain and sustain their cognitive abilities once that decline begins. It's one of the only things that works. So, oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Jordan Peterson has an example where a 50-year-old person can begin doing resistance training and regain the cognitive abilities they had when they were 30 years old. When they were 30 years old. That's crazy to me. Like, it's because the brain is a really physiologically demanding organ. And if you have a strong, well-maintained body that can better support that brain, the brain functions way, way better. There's a lot of biochemistry that goes into it. I forget the exact chemistry of it, but it has to do with the hippocampus, which is this little seahorse-looking thing that exists in your temporal lobe. Now I know, God dang, I knew we said we weren't going to get too sciencey on it, but this is super interesting to me. But you have this little thing called the hippocampus, and that little bugger is responsible for a lot of the learning and memory that takes place in your brain. And that guy loves these little hormones called growth factors. And growth factors are produced when you weight train. So you weight train, the hippocampus just sucks it all up, eats it alive, and then you can take a brain that's 50 years old and transform it back and maintain it to that same brain when it was 30 years old. Like, that's incredible. How are you not doing resistance training right now if you're going to enjoy that type of benefit?
They're gonna be like, hold on a second, pause. Hey Siri. Hey Google. Let me ask you something.
It's so interesting. Like, if you are not to get on a soapbox with it, but just that by itself, let alone all the other benefits that you get from living a healthy lifestyle and making better, healthier choices, eating better, resistance training, doing your cardio. Forget all the other benefits like staving off diabetes, which leads to things like heart problems, type 2 diabetes. Take all that away and just have the cognition. If you're not doing this, if you're not doing some form of resistance training, you're not doing your cardio, then you are by definition not living your best life. You are by definition not being your best self. And how dare you deprive your body of that? Go freaking do it. I'm worried about getting big. Go freaking lift some weights. Sorry.
You got so passionate, man.
It's super, super important. The body is incredible, and it'll do amazing things for you if you treat it the right way. And
it was cool. You said something. We're talking about resistance training, and you're talking about living your best life, right?
Mm-hmm.